We are back with our midweek NFL DFS update, and we are going to be crystal clear about what changed from yesterday and why. At quarterback, we are moving back to Joe Burrow at 6,900. Yesterday, we pivoted to Baker for salary leverage, but the updated reads bring us right back to Burrow because he carries a dash rank of 100, a 20-point projection, and he draws Cleveland, who have one of the worst defenses overall by opponent rank at 23. The recent form matters here too, with 40, 23, and 20 in his last three. Ownership around 17% is high, but not prohibitive for tournaments when the ceiling is intact. The news cycle backs the bet as well, with multiple articles noting that the roots were there for Burrow, that he could win his first MVP in 2025, and that league executives believe he could be even better this season. That combination of matchup, form, and signal from news is why we are recentering the build on Burrow. For a salary saver at quarterback, we are reopening Spencer Rattler at 4,800 as a deep punt only. Arizona have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall by opponent rank at 17. His projection sits at 13, with about 0.6% ownership. And the Saints QB competition news is active with reports on Rattler battling for the job after a late scoring drive in preseason, and New Orleans acquiring him in the 5th round. Note that projected points are unreliable for quarterbacks without at least 3 starts, so this is strictly a tournament salary release if we get a positive start confirmation. At running back, we are staying the course with Devon Cheney at 6,900. We kept him yesterday, and nothing has changed in the underlying thesis. Indianapolis have one of the worst defenses overall by opponent rank at 28. Kane owns a dash rank of 100 with an 18-point projection, and he brings the volatility we want for ceiling with game logs of 6, 34, and 15. He is questionable, and Miami coach Mike McDaniel offered a crucial injury update ahead of the season per recent reporting, so we will monitor. Ownership has climbed to about 17%, which nudges him from pure leverage to strong chalk with ceiling. We are fine keeping him because the explosive profile is intact in a soft matchup. If you need a true punt at running back, Alec Ingold at 4,000 is not in our standard pool given a 1-point projection and a full-back role. The only angle here is extreme large field leverage if late news hints at a random goal line package or if a chain sits. Otherwise, we pass. At wide receiver, we are keeping Ja'Marr Chase at 8,100 and now stacking him with Burrow. We kept Chase yesterday even without the full stack because the matchup and role were elite, and that still holds. Cleveland have one of the worst defenses overall by opponent rank at 23. Chase carries a dash rank of 100 with a 20-point projection, and he has delivered 22, 22, and 18 in his last 3. Ownership around 25% is heavy, but the stack equity with Burrow justifies it. The news is mostly off-field, with headlines about him switching from Nike to Fabeltics and training camp reports that the Bengals are fully ramped. None of that changes his top-tier target share. For value at wide receiver, we are staying with Xavier Legette at 4,200. We kept him yesterday because Jacksonville have one of the worst defenses overall by opponent rank at 31. He projects around 8 with about 1.4% ownership, and his recent 8, 0, and 3 confirms the wide range we tolerate for salary relief. A features piece listing him among rising talents for 2025 supports the bet on an expanded role. Same thesis, same price, still viable. At tight end, we are changing course to Kyle Pitts at 4,300. Yesterday, we used David Njoku for leverage, but the current ownership and salary landscape make Pitts a sharper tournament pivot today. Tampa Bay have one of the worst defenses overall by opponent rank at 22. Pitts projects around 8 with essentially 0 ownership, and he just posted 14, 2, and 7 in his last 3. News notes that the entire league seems to be down on Pitts, while head coach Raheem Morris and reporting from Adam Schefter indicate Atlanta intend to keep him. That disconnect creates ideal leverage at a friendly price. If you are punting the position, we are still fine with Tommy Tremble at 2,500 in large fields. Jacksonville have one of the worst defenses overall by opponent rank at 31. He projects for about 3, with roughly 0.2% ownership. And his recent 0, 6, and 4 shows a path to beating the tag. He remains a salary unlock when you want to jam multiple studs. For the flex, we are moving back to Puka Nakua at 7,600 after yesterday's Nico Collins pivot. This one is about role stability in a strong offense. Houston have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall by opponent rank at 15. Nakua owns a dash rank of 100 with an 18-point projection, and his last 3 are 16, 10, and 26. Ownership around 16% is manageable. The Rams' offseason news matters here, with reports that Davante Adams joins Matthew Stafford and Puka to form one of the league's most dangerous trios, and Sean McVay emphasizing balance. We expect defenses to pick their poison, keeping Puka's weekly ceiling intact. For a stone minimum flex, David Moore at 3,000 is a deep tournament dart only. Jacksonville have one of the worst defenses overall by opponent rank at 31. He projects around 3, with virtually no ownership, and his recent 3, 12, and 4 shows just enough spike potential to make him a viable salary release if you are stacking that game. On defense, we are pivoting off the Dolphins from yesterday and moving to the Packers at 2,900. Detroit have one of the worst defenses overall by opponent rank at 26. Green Bay project around 6 with about 2.4% ownership, and their recent defensive scores of 3, 17, and 15 fit the range we target at this price. If you need to save, we are keeping the Titans at 2,200 against Denver, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall by opponent rank at 19. Tennessee project around 5 with roughly 2.2% ownership, and the recent 3, -1, and 6 is standard volatility for the tier. Quick recap of what changed from yesterday and why. We re-centered quarterback on Joe Burrow because the Browns present one of the worst defenses overall. He brings a dash rank of 100 with elite recent form, and the news cycle is bullish with MVP chatter. We kept Devon Achane despite a rising ownership clip because Indianapolis are still one of the worst defenses overall, and the McDaniel injury update leaves the door open for his ceiling. We kept Ja'Marr Chase and added the Burrow stack. We pivoted tight end to Kyle Pitts for ownership leverage and a friendly price in a soft overall matchup after news suggested Atlanta intend to feature him. We moved the flex back to Puka Nakua because the Rams' offense looks dangerous even with Davante Adams joining, and the role remains robust at moderate ownership. On defense, we shifted to the Packers for similar projection at low ownership and kept the Titans as the cheap alternative. For value, Spencer Rattler returns as a start-dependent salary punt. Xavier Legette and Tommy Tremble remain our Jacksonville game salary savers, and David Moore is a large field dart. That is the why behind each change, and we will update again if the late-week news on Achane or the Saints' quarterback job breaks decisively.